E3 everyone, and it started off with quite a bang, I must say, at least from my perspective. I think I missed yesterday's, well, actually no, the day before yesterday's, because over in the UK it starts off roughly at about night and then carries on into the early morning, so I missed quite a bit of it. But what I did get was a Nintendo and Bethesda presentations, or rather it was Nintendo World Championships. But either way, it was incredibly hilarious at the start and cringy and bad, and then at the end it was just complete and utter bullshit. So let's have a discussion about it. So I'm gonna talk about Nintendo first. Admittedly, I only caught the last hour of it. I'd reckon about the last hour. So I did manage to catch Reggie get absolutely wrecked at Smash Bros. I mean, I just can't believe that a guy who is an actual CEO of Nintendo in America is absolutely shit at Smash Brothers. Even I'm better than him at Smash Brothers. I don't even play the game that often. I don't even have a Wii U or a Wii. I mean, that's how bad he is. I mean, he was going the wrong way. He was jumping off the platforms. He was doing the wrong attacks. He was looking to even kick the guy out at all at one point. I mean, that is a shameful display, Reggie. Shameful display. I mean, just absolutely terrible. I mean, you know it's terrible and shameful when Nintendo are doing damage control on Twitter, such as the lols that has been unleashed upon the world. But that said, I guess you can't always be that good at your own games, but come on, he is a Nintendo president. He should at least be competent, or semi-competent at the very least. You know what? I'd like to see, and a lot of people said this, a battle between Reggie and DSP. Come on, that has got to be the absolute battle of the century, surely. DSP and Reggie, two absolute shit gamers, head to head. Place your bets, people. Who's gonna win? And then we get to the championships, and they start off with Smash Brothers, and it's kind of boring. One person used Schultz, which is apparently overpowered. I wouldn't know this shit. And then it was the last two, Cosmo versus John Numbers. Oh my god, Cosmo was just so rubbish. Yet he still beat John Numbers in one round. I don't know how he did it. I mean, he was just hopeless. But the whole thing was just like, brought to you by autism. I mean, it was just oozing out of us. It was just incredible. My senses were tingling as an Aspie myself. I mean, fucking hell. Steady on, guys. But at least John Numbers won. But Cosmo stole the show just about how bad he was, yet he still got to the final. Incredible. Oh. And then after that comedy gold, we finally get to Bethesda, and everyone is so happy, everyone's so excited and hyped up to see what Bethesda's going to give us. I mean, what can this amazing development / publisher company possibly do to wow us like they did so many years before? This is their first ever presser. I mean, Aaron Sessler himself was high on a special amount of cocaine just for this occasion. Look at him, he's going and making these silly laughing noises that he usually does, like and then he kept going redder and redder as he was talking. I mean, clearly the guy was high as fuck. He was excited, and then it happens. And what I can only describe to be probably the worst presser I've ever seen. And it starts off with, the Fallout trailer that everyone has seen. And I know I promised you a reaction trailer. Well, here's my reaction to it. Underwhelming now. At first I was really excited, but now the more I think about it, the more underwhelming it seems. I mean, for example, the graphical fidelity is kind of low. It's showing us nothing that we've not seen before. I mean, IGN and everyone else is saying, oh, it's so colourful, you can see the blue sky. Has that got something to do with the radiation leaving? Is this in the future? And then that just shows how little people have to take from this trailer. Anything new. Oh, a little bit of blue sky. So fucking what? I mean, to be fair, it's not a whole lot different. It's still saturated and orangey, grey kind of colour than Fallout 3 was. And then we see the actual gameplay. And, disappointed. Disappointed. I mean, I know that a lot of games nowadays are basically copies of other games. Say if a game creates a fantastic new mechanic, other games will immediately take it and use it in their own games. But like, this is just a mess of different mechanics. And that's not. But first, I want my biggest complaint, which is not just the fact that it's exactly the same that we're getting from Fallout 3, but just with new gimmicks. The dialogue options. I don't mind having a voice in a video game. You know, I'm kind of sick of having to play the silent protagonist all the time. But this is the one time that I wish the silent protagonist was in Fallout 3. Do you wanna know why? Because it turned into Mass Effect 3, or at least just Mass Effect in general. I mean, the voice actor for the Lone Wanderer or Mr. Howard, I think that's because Howard, who was presenting the game, inputted his name into it, so maybe all the NPCs can call you by your name. It was bullshit. The voice acting sucked. The dialogue was bad. I mean, didn't seem to be any choice that you could have your own voice. You know, there was no Saints Row style selection. And you're supposed to be able to create your own character. I'm mixed race and I don't sound particularly Asian, but you know, what if you want to have an African American accent? Not like ghetto, but like, you know, like has the intonations and the stuff or whatever, you know? No, he just sounds stereotypical white guy, doesn't he? He's just terrible. And then the dog is clearly gonna be with you throughout rather than just something that you can get through choice like in Fallout 3. So basically, as Mr. Metica said, it's a dog escort mission, and that means I reckon if it dies, game over. Which makes me worried, because what if that implies a very linear kind of gameplay. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, and then let's have a look at the other options. What have we got? We have a base building mechanic, which is basically like Minecraft, and bear in mind, you can only build it where they allow you to. You can't build it anywhere. There's no freedom to build it anywhere. You can only build it in certain areas, which kind of ruins the whole open world aspect of the game anyway. I mean, I guess you can argue that it would break the game if you could build a base anywhere, but surely to move a base you would have to destroy the one that you previously had, right? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, Minecraft you can build anywhere within the map. Why not Fallout? I mean, obviously you won't be able to build it in the city, but in the wasteland, anywhere. It's a wasteland. Stupid. And then the worst was obviously, now forgive me if I'm missing things out because it was several hours ago and I've been asleep since then, so a lot of my memory won't be the same as it was when I was watching it. But the worst thing about it was the Flash game. And the merchandise. But let's talk about the Flash game first. The Flash game is just the ultimate cash grab I've ever seen, and further proof that Apple and mobiles are ruining gaming. I mean, all it is, and this is what they said themselves, that it's influenced by XCOM. All it is the XCOM base building mechanic without gameplay. All it has is a few animated 2D sprites walking around, fucking, exercising, going out on adventures. That's it. That's not gameplay. That's not a game. That's just a free to play piece of trash. Who would want to play that? And it's out now. If you're playing that, shame on you, and apparently it ties into the game as well. And let's not forget the Pip-Boy shit that you put your phone in, which apparently can create it's apparently like another interface for the game, and they had the cheek to say that they hate stuff like that, with the Wii U, etc., and Battlefield. Yeah, apparently that's no different. Apparently that's better than everything else. It looks even worse. All it is a glorified Pit-Boy stupid prop with your phone in it. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? And of course it's obviously going to be included in the limited edition. It's like, do you want to waste your money on a limited edition game? Go on ahead. Here's some useless props, some useless figurines. Here, take them. Take them! We want your money! Because we're now Ubisoft and EA. And that's Fallout 4 for now. I think I've missed a few things out, but tell me in the comments below, and I will talk to you about that. Now, this is where it gets a hell of a lot worse. Now, obviously they didn't start off with Fallout 4, I think. I think they may have started with Doom, or maybe Doom came later. I think Doom may have come later. But either way, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to talk through the games in the way I see fit. So, Doom. Disappointing once more. They've killed it. They fucked Doom. They fucked it up. I mean, I know it's a gameplay trailer, but it's still a gameplay trailer. So, we see the Space Marine and he puts his helmet on, and it looks a bit like Halo. But obviously Doom was there before Halo in terms of wearing power armor and stuff. But it wasn't so Halo-like. I've never seen Doom look so much like Halo. And then he walks out with his gun, and then it's the slowest walking animation I've ever seen. And then when the combat happens, this is when everything turns to shit. Because while it's still slow, but then it picks up pace, like he starts moving faster. Now, I don't know whether or not there's a walking function or not. Or that they're playing it on the console so you can, walk using the analog stick. But, God, that game was slow. Like, he was shooting the enemies, and yeah, it was gory and fun, but at first it was satisfying, especially with those kill animations. But then you just realise, these are just glorified FT QuickTime events. That's all they are. They're QTEs. They're QTEs with Rise style animated prompts. That's all they are. Oh, and there's only. And I want to ask you a question, guys. Did you ever see, in any frame, in any scene from that game, an area where there was no more than 4, maybe 5 enemies, 1 or 2 at most? Is it me, or are they trying to create some kind of weird system in the game, or can the engine not handle having loads of enemies on screen at the same time? Because the original Doom could. That Doom could have loads of enemies on the same screen at once. But this one can't. How? We're in 2015. This is next gen, and we're having games with only 5 enemies on the screen at once. This isn't the PS1 era, when Metal Gear Solid could only have 2 enemies, maybe 3 at once, maybe 5 if you were lucky. That's a disgrace. The QuickTime events are a disgrace. Doom is a first-person shooter, not Rise. I mean, what the fuck? What have they done to it? The combat was just slow, tedious. It was very mainstream. It was totally dumbed down, as was Fallout. Fallout was just... But Doom, casualised, probably. Bastardised, even. And that's all I'm going to say on Doom. That hurts me. It hurts my feelings, that. And now, Battle Cry. There's not an awful lot to say about that, other than it's... Hey kids, says Bethesda, do you want Team Fortress 2 with Oriental features? Well, here's Team Fortress 2 with Oriental features. And knives. That's all it was. It was this horrible mess of a game where it was basically Team Fortress with cell shading. Only the cell shading only appeared when you hit people, and the blood effects were awful. The graphics themselves weren't impressive. In fact, Doom didn't particularly look graphically impressive, and neither did Fallout. All the games... I mean, Fallout, granted, had very good environments, but the characters themselves, no, they were terrible. They didn't look particularly next gen. It looked like Fallout 3 upres. So Battlecry, I'm not going much to say other than it's a Team Fortress 2 clone and shameful rip-off. It just looks. I'm not buying that. It looks crap. So finally, we get to Dishonored 2, which I was going to talk about. Now, there's not much to gather other than Fallout. I mean, Dishonored 2 is more of the same, really. I'd say. Only looks like you can web swing now, and the plague seems to have horrible flies in it, which kind of freaked me out. I'd say that was a good improvement on the plague. Rather than just rats, you have horrible disease, mosquito-y, flea type things which can attack you. That's okay, I guess. And this time you can play as two characters. You can play as a woman or a man. Corvo, of course, is back, although he barely featured in it. It was the woman that featured in it, and the man was like, "I know you covered your face." It's like she barely covered her face. You can see her eyes. You know who she is. Eye contact, and I don't know. I mean, is it just me, or was she felt rather forced? Like they've been forced to include the option of playing as a woman because of a certain Anita Sarkeesian and the social justice warriors. I don't know. I'd play her. It seems to me that they're going for a Resident Evil kind of thing where you can play as Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. But I don't particularly want to play as her. I'm not particularly fond of Corvo, but he was a fun character to play as. Now, I don't know. Was she the Empress? Was his daughter, or was that someone else? Is it someone else? I don't know. It's set in a completely different town, but it looks exactly the same. But, you know, there's not a lot to gauge, and I'm just shooting in the dark wildly at best there. So we finally go to probably... Oh, I totally forgot. Dishonored is coming out in a remastered version, just yet more shilling and more cash grabbing from Bethesda, of course. It's sad what they've become. And then finally we get to basically another rip-off, and this is the Elder Scrolls card game. Card game! It's basically Hearthstone, that's all it is. They've ripped off Hearthstone. Again! Elder Scrolls Online seem to rip off World of Warcraft, and now we've got Hearthstone. They're basically selling us a reskinned Hearthstone. Nobody's going to play that when that Hearthstone's on the market. Oh, and speaking of Elder Scrolls Online, they're trying to release it for consoles now. Look, console peasants, please, don't buy that game. It's shite, it's rubbish. It's a piece of shit. You'll be conned out of your money if you buy that. Don't believe the hype. Believe the criticism. So anyway, that's my reaction to E3. I can't watch all of it because, you know, different time zones and all that. So sadly I won't be able to keep in touch with it as much as I would like to. But this is the bits that really infuriated me and made me laugh out loud. Next on the channel I will be discussing Anita Sarkeesian and Full Macintosh's reaction to Doom and Fallout 4. Trust me, that is some fucking shit right there. Until next time, this has been CharmingMan93. Like, share the video, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.